Oh, this is a bit of a mess. I'm going to save this by the next video because I don't like it. I'm just being lazy right now from doing it. Also, putting your hair in a ponytail is not that easy. You see this? See how messy it looks? It's because I suck at it. It's not even that the hair is that frizzy. It's just because I suck at it. Women made it look easy all my life. Now that I have long hair, completely challenging. They had me duped. Thought it was easy. It is not. It really isn't. But with that being said, topic of the video, survival, right? And I'm not talking about survival because, oh, I'm living out my car and everything or whatnot. No. I'm talking about survival because it's something that I discuss with friends and read about a lot, right? So I saw this clip by Kwame Brown when he was on the Pivot podcast, and he was basically talking about like how a lot of people in our communities, black communities and whatnot, poor communities, due to, you know, our circumstances, and then we have to like grow up fast, you know, we got to pay bills while trying to go to school and, you know, trying to basically navigate life, you know, you end up in a state of where you're surviving your childhood.
Because kids are seeing things that they shouldn't see and they're growing up angry. I talked to a kid that was 13 years old in Connecticut. He said, I don't care about nothing. And I saw so much of me in this kid because when you don't get the ball and it's not your turn, and you can't choose your parents, you can't choose your situation. This kid is 13 years old and saw a 14-year-old kid get killed. So it's like these kids are surviving their home. And that's what I feel like I did. I survived my upbringing, and a lot of black kids are surviving instead of, I feel like if I had a stable household, I would have been the president and the #1 draft pick. But prior to that, I'm an All-American, I'm on honor roll, I'm holding down a job, and I'm paying bills all while being a teenager. And that's what most kids do.
Right. Your childhood is really just a state of survival. You're just making it to the next day, to the next day, to the next day with like increasing responsibilities that you get thrust upon you because you have to survive. Like you don't just get to ease your way into it typically. And with that, it made so much sense, and it grounded, it put into words, I meant to say, my thoughts on these type of situations. Now, the way I would say it, I would usually just say like things like conditioning, generational curses, you know, trauma, and yada yada yada, and find a way to put all of that stuff together into a nicely worded sentence. But I like how he put it there, and I will post the clip. So with that, one of the issues is like when you go through those type of things is we end up not just surviving our childhood, but it goes with us, you know, the conditioning aspect. We go from surviving our childhood to surviving our teenage years to surviving our adulthood. And we're stuck in this constant state of survival. And it gets in the way with a lot of things, and we don't even really notice. For example, I will use myself, right? They use this channel. Once I finally started trying to take it seriously, you know, I tried different topics and everything. I was still couch surfing and other stuff. And in hindsight, I could have put more attention to the channel, but I didn't, because in my head, I did not have enough time in between, you know, trying to pay bills, you know, trying to put the family on my back, because my thing is like, I'm gonna get us all a house, you know, I'm gonna give us stability for the first time. I'm gonna be the one to do it, right? I'm gonna get my degree and everything and pay those bills, get my credit up. Like, I was spread everywhere, and I still kind of am spread everywhere, but I've pulled back from a lot of stuff. With that, I didn't focus on, you know, something that I had in my head, something that I was like, yo, I can do something with this. And it also kind of spread towards my career. Like on my Instagram, Universal Nobility, my photography and digital content page. And there's good work on there, but there isn't as much good work on there. So I could upload more, but I don't. I could work on more projects more and everything, but I don't. Why? Because survival. Like if things didn't line up so they could be perfect, I would just put things on the back burner. So I'm like, well, I just can't do this right now because I got to do this. I got to do that. Even though, looking at it, as I ease myself away from other stuff, I could and can, find a way to make it all work. And it's with that with a lot of things. I know so many people who are talented artists, talented musician, very intelligent and everything. But that constant state of survival, of trying to survive, ends up limiting them and the things that they do, because you become super focused on just making it to the next day. Like myself, I got super focused in a positive way that became negative. So yeah, I went to school and whatnot, and yes, I have money now, according to my environment. I come from an environment where the median income was like 23 to 25,000. Okay, I'm making like double of that. So for me, that's something. But my thing became, being super hyper focused on saving money and building for the future. And as I said, putting the family on my back, and everything was always the next day. I mean, not the next day. Everything was always, the next year or the year after or the year after. And if you keep putting things to the year after, guess what? Time doesn't stop. So you become 23, then 24, then 25, and 26, and everything's still getting delayed to the next year, to the next year, to the next year, because I was trying to fix everything, because I was still in that I going to surviving, and everybody's going to survive with me. But how can you get other people to how can you build other people and get them to achieve when you're still trying to figure your own self out, right? And you don't even realize that you too have vices. They're toxic. They're positively toxic vices, but they're still toxic. They're still vices. It might not be drugs or anything, but this hyper obsession with the future and getting everything done, you're not living. And I wasn't living. I truly wasn't. Didn't make any relationships with a lot of people and everything. And some of it comes with trauma too. A lot of us have gone through things. I have trauma from experiences which have killed a lot of stuff and whatnot. But couldn't do that. But I mean, not couldn't, but didn't do, when I look back on it, certain things because I was not in a mindset of trying to thrive. I was in a mindset of trying to survive. College, thankfully, has helped change a lot of that. Still a work in progress. And hell, even me being able to live out the car is because, in a way, I'm conditioned for it. I've been through so much, a lot of stuff does not bother me. So I could just sleep in it and be like, well, I'm still saving money. I'll be out of this soon. I don't really know how to put it, but it's an issue that a lot of us face. And I really don't know how you fix it in the broader spectrum without universal therapy or anything, right? Because as I said, so many people I know go through it. I have friends that exhibit the same thing. And in fact, even going even to further depths into this, Steve Harvey, right? He has a very famous clip where he talks about, sometimes you got to take the leap and whatnot. And there's different renditions of it with different music and backgrounds and everything. It'll be road clips and shit. But when you're stuck in that survival mindset, right? That's just carried over. You have kids, you bring it onto your kids, it just keeps carrying over. How do you take a leap into the unknown when you're trapped in a box? Literally going to that unknown is by kicking down a barrier. But if you don't even realize that the barrier exists, or for a lot of people, you're too afraid of the fact that you might not ever get out of the environment and lifestyle that you're in, that box can become very claustrophobic. Thankfully, I've learning as I'm going. I've pulled away from a lot of stuff. Still trying to carry some other people, but I'm letting them do them, but trying to plant seeds for it could grow. And now I'm back here with the channel. But that's really, I really wanted to say on this topic. I don't really have any call to action for it besides, I don't know, universal therapy, more social services, funding more social services and taking less on the fucking war and everything else. But hopefully this if you made it this far, hopefully there are other people that like relate to this as well, and like it'll make sense to them. Like, oh shit, I too was like, you know, so focused on like, I too am like a victim of like surviving my childhood, a victim of like generational traumas and curses and everything else, to where I didn't even realize I carried that over to my adulthood and was limiting myself in certain aspects. But with that being said, catch y'all in the next video.